Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show, reminding you all to come join us November 13th at Island Spice Bar and Grill, located at 17802 West Little York. We're going to have K-Reno live, Anil live, R. Bailey live, hosted by comedian Terry White. And also we're going to show a preview of my movie Black's Journey. A-Tone Productions will be in the house. It's going down. Make sure y'all be there, right? Now, hey, I got to say, I'm shocked. You know, when I first heard news of the Colin Kaepernick series that was going to be aired on Netflix, I had got word prior to that Friday, the 29th, which it was supposed to originally air. And so I was giving my take on, I hope it wasn't this and I hope it wasn't that. So I got a chance to view it, and it was more than I expected, and he did a good job of the narration of the show. Now, comparing his situation to my situation, when I grew up in all black neighborhood, all black community, and moved to a predominantly white community, I guess 8th grade summer, heading to 9th grade, or middle of the 8th grade year, heading to high school. And I write about my experiences, you know, because going in an all black neighborhood, that's all you saw. And you had confidence in yourself because you saw the teachers were you, your neighbors, the professionals, the everything, you know. And this was before crack hit, right? No, this is before they used chemical, biological warfare against a black community. And, you know, the experience and the treatment of white men, especially, going out their way to try to make you feel ashamed or bad about being you. And it was like, look, I love who I am. I enjoy me. I don't have a problem with me. But obviously you do. But at such a young age, you don't understand racism. And at first you take it as maybe they're just having a bad day when you first encounter it, right? But then after it happens again and again and again, and you start to say, hey, and it happens from different faces, you know, different white men faces. And you looking like, wow, dude, this is real, you know. And then you watch Roots and you watch shows dealing with race, and you're like, man, I'm going through the exact same thing. What is this, right? Now, you're like, what do I do, right? If I fight back, now I got to deal with the police, I got to deal with the principals, I got to deal with the teachers, I got to deal with this system and this society, right? But it gets to a point to where you like, you know what, I can't take it no more. Let's go. I'm tired. You know, only so much a man can take, right? I mean, as a youngster, right? So you start to lash out, but then when you do that, now you're labeled as one of the radicals, and I mean, it's crazy because you have some blacks will say, yeah, man, don't take that. Hell, you are who you are. Be proud of who you are. Don't take nothing off nobody. Right. Then you have the other side who say, hey, man, you know, you got to keep your head down, you know, just bear it for a moment, you know, try to fit in, you know, because you want to have a future, you don't want any marks on your name and whatnot. And it's like, wow. So I'm sitting here watching the Colin Kaepernick story, and yeah, you know, we go through a lot. Now, when they talk about colorism within the black community, that's something that we as melanated people have to get over. But when you hear the story of what mulattoes and what they would deem as lighter than a brown paperback or whatever, what they go through, it's the same thing, right? No difference. And so at this day and time, there is nothing and no obstacle that is in our way from uniting, doing business, and go for ourselves. There's nothing in the way. There is absolutely nothing in our way. We don't see each other as foreign objects anymore. We just see the melanated people in all different shades and sizes communicating, uniting for one common goal, to achieve a goal and prosperity for us as a whole. Other than that, I don't care if you from the Dominican, Panama, Cuba, Houston, New York, LA, Milwaukee. It don't matter, man. If we can build, let's build. Make something happen. The rest don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? But one thing we do have to stop is the violence against each other, which was manufactured. But we have to be wiser than the enemy, right? Now, I could explain the difference in the battle between Africans in America versus the Africans that's coming from Africa, and how when the Africans come to America, they don't associate with the African Americans, right? But reason being is, let me give you a story. About 12 years ago, we was trying to get my daughter some braids. They suggested this lady from Africa. I think she was from Kenya, but she was supposed to be the best, man, and she did them out of her apartment. So we took my daughter over there to get her braids done, and we were sitting there, and so the subject got on, the different cultures. She told me that in Africa, all they showed was menace to society, boys in the hood, and they made them believe that the blacks in America, we all sold drugs, we were all in gangs, and we all wanted to harm and kill each other. I said, wow, that what they show us about you in Africa is that all of y'all in these poor villages and your kids don't have anything to eat, and y'all all got these warlords and y'all warring with each other and cutting off arms and whatnot, right? And she was like, wow, they do that on both sides to keep us divided, and so we don't unite as a whole. But when you travel outside and you go to these different places, you realize, man, it's not even like what they portray on television, But if you don't go out, you believe that what they're saying is true. So let me let this young sister explain it in her own words.
So I came across a thread asking, what's the problem? What do you think the problem is between African Americans and Africans? Let me tell you something, okay? Coming from an African. When I came here in 2004, from 2004 and growing up, when we first came, the first people that came towards us was white Americans, okay? They came with their news about America and told us everything we needed to know. Everything we needed to know. First of all, they told us about black people, how lazy they were, how they're the least educated in America. They bring America down. Now, of course, they didn't say it exactly like this, but they would take us to the slums and show us that it's majority of black people. And then when we came down here, we lived in a wealthy community. We in a white community at that, actually. So they moved us into a white community so we could see how it was in a white community or whatsoever. There were nice people. They would come and bring you things or whatsoever. With that being said, we started off going to private schools. Once we started to get probably into middle school, my mom would send us off to public school so we could get used to the world. Now, when we go here, mind you, we was going to a school with a bunch of white people who, it was a Christian school, so of course they learned to like us, love us, or act like. If they were acting, they did great, honestly. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, with that being said, we started going to public schools, and we ran into black Americans at this time. And the first thing that we experienced was being called African booty scratches. Oh, don't you guys have AIDS? Aren't you guys naked? Da, 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 da. So the media you guys had here to show you guys the lower part of Africa, the part that they didn't want America or black Americans to see, is what you guys judged us off of. Whereas we judge you off of the news that the white people had for you guys, but the lower part of you guys. So it plays both ways. They show us or tell us or give us knowledge about the lower class black Americans, and then they give you guys knowledge about the lower class Africans. That's just how it is. They're not going to tell you about the nice cities, the nice things, the benefits, the money, they're not going to tell you about their profit that they make in Africa, and they're not going to tell us about the unity that we could have with black Americans in America if we all came together. They don't want that to happen. They're going to tell us the least attractive things about each other so that we don't come together.
See what I'm saying, man? That is my point. That's my point. That is my point. That's my point. See, this is when they say systemic racism, that's what they're talking about. Straight systemic racism. That is what they're talking about. And that's what we go through as the people. You know, and sometimes if you're not aware or if you're not educating yourself or if you're not reading, it'll be subtle and you don't catch it until it's too late. You know, you can be, like they say, these microaggressions, they'll be subtle, but they're meant to plant a seed of doubt in your psyche. And if you're not aware, you will take that in and you start feeling like uncomfortable, or they want to strip at your self-esteem. And if you're not aware, that after a period of time, that can cause depression. So you have to have some self-assurance of who you are. And once you love and respect you, the individual, and you hear these microaggressions, you check them right on the spot. Hey, whoa, wait, whoa, what do you mean by that? What are you talking about? Who are you? You want to talk about history? Look, my history goes back further than yours. But so many times we were taught to just let it go, right? But what happens was when you let it go and you take it in and you don't let it out, it starts to eat at you from the inside out. And that's one of the purposes, is to break you down from the inside so your outside can crack. I mean, this thing was, they laid this racism and systemic racism, they laid it out as a science. But it's time to break that science, right? And it's time to start understanding and loving yourself, you the individual. That's what it's about right now, because everything else that we thought was the way to be, or we thought that was it, just look at it. It failed. We tried it. It didn't work. It don't work. It don't work. If you're not happy with where you at today and the results of what you've been doing over a span of your lifetime, then that means that system didn't work. It's not working. And it wasn't supposed to work. You got to take on a new it to work. So with that being said, look, I advise you all, watch that Colin Kaepernick episode on Netflix. I thank Paul Stafford for reminding me to watch it. And it's definitely is a great show. Until next time, Verbal Pick Radio, we're out.